Welcome back to the special CAT series with Careers 360. In today's video, I'm going to talk something very simple, very specific as to how you can improve your mock scores. When I'm saying mock scores, you need to also see that the improvement that you do in your mocks should ideally translate to the CAT actual D-Day also. So let's look at what is it that you do or what is it that you're feeling right now, why are mock scores not improving, and what can you do to improve. Let's look at some very basic things. Are you facing such obvious things like, hey, my scores are stagnant or scores are fluctuating? Worse still, the scores are going down. What do? The fact of the matter is, like if you know cricket, it is not that forever you are going to be always in form. You might think that a Bumrah probably should be always bowling Yorkers, consistent Yorkers kind of things, but you know that sometimes he also errs. So does a Rohit Sharma or Shubman Gill or whoever else that we want to talk about. That scores will fluctuate is normal. What is not normal is that, or what you should be worried about is if there is no consistency over a slightly larger period of the game. That's the reason why average is important. Maybe you are out on 0 on a particular day, but the next one you make a 50, the next you get a 70, another 100, then again a 10, it's okay. Trust me when I'm saying this, that even when you are writing your mocks, these kind of changes do happen. The bigger problem is, fine, these happen. What if this happens on the actual CAT day? This is exactly what a problem happens. What if it happens on the real final, like it happened to Abhishek Sharma in Asia Cup final? He might have been brilliant, but he did not get too many runs in the final. We'll have to prepare for that. And unlike a cricket match where you will get out on a single ball, the beauty of an exam like CAT is that you have a full 2 hours. For each section you have 40 minutes. Even if the first 10 minutes go bad, even in the next 20 minutes go bad, the first 20 minutes go bad, you still have 20, you still have that extra time to recoup and make sure that you get your minimum scores. Remember, the overall scores matter. We will talk about that as we go along. If these things are happening, trust me, just relax and tell yourself that this is normal. Having said that, your overall average should keep going up. It can keep going up and down, but the upward trajectory of that up and down should ideally be seen in your scores. Check whether you are able to do that. Then I'm sure some people find this very seriously, especially when it is much more closer to CAT, that in VARC there are 4 RCs and you are not able to attempt more than 2 RCs. Or you attempting all the 3 or 4 RCs, but you don't have time for the verbal section. That is 8 questions in verbal ability. And worst of all, when you have, sometimes you are very good in RC, you get all 4 correct and sometimes you get all 4 wrong. The questions. What do? Is it normal? Once again, the fact of the matter is, the last one at least is very normal. But if you are not able to attempt more than 2 RCs and you are able to attempt the whole of verbal, that's 8 questions and 16 questions. Or if you're doing all of reading comprehension, let's say all the 4 RCs, but you don't have time for VA, here is what my simple mantra is. Outside the exam, solve the questions which you have not solved while you are writing the mock. If the accuracy of those areas is better than what you are writing in the mock, typically it will be, then you may have to rejig that 40 minutes in your verbal RC section. Maybe you might have to give only 28-30 minutes for your reading comprehension and 10 minutes for your verbal. So that even if you are doing 2 RCs, if you can do all the 8 verbal sections, that's 16 questions, and get about 12-13 correct, that's about 75% accuracy, 12 correct out of 16 also, you're talking about getting a very decent score. May not be a 99 percentile, but clearly a 93, 94, 95 percentile. Then there are people who have VARC pretty good, sorted, but DILR or QA sucks. Some of them will find DILR is a bouncer. Many of the time, some of you might find that you can solve just one DILR set. And those of you who have the quantitative trauma, the QA trauma, you can't find easy questions. Every Tom, Dick and Harry, every mentor and sundry keeps telling you, pick easy questions. And you can't really find a single easy question. How do you even cope up with this? The key thing here is, if you are finding that you are good in VARC and your DILR or QA is not so good, you still need certain marks. Let's say 15 marks each. That's 30 marks. Let's say you get about 40 or 45 in verbal RC. 45 plus 30 will make you 75, which is very clearly close to that 93, 94, 95 percentile to get into the newer IIMs, if not the older IIMs. If I'm assuming you are a general candidate in that sense. So instead of lamenting on it, and instead of feeling that, look, I have lost the game, you have to focus on what is the best you can make out of that 40 minutes. While saying so, in the next video that I'm going to talk about, where we will talk about what should you do in the last 30 days, don't miss out on that. I'm going to give you a hour by hour plan in a day, how to improve your DILR, how to improve your QA, or even actually how to improve your VARC. Do make sure that you go through my earlier videos in each of these 3 areas of how to improve. While there is no shortcut to success, a little bit of consistency can get you what you want. Remember, if you want only 15 marks in verbal ability, in quantitative ability, let's say you want only 15 marks, that's 5 questions. You have 40 minutes, 22 questions are available. You can sift out. Maybe if first 10 minutes you look at all the questions which you don't know and remove it. Let's say you find out that 12-13 questions you can't even understand one bit of it. But then that's 7-8 questions you can understand. And now you have 30 minutes to solve. Which means those questions which you have the awareness, the formula, the understanding, you have 4 minutes per question to solve. 7 questions you solve correctly, 28 minutes, you will get 21 marks, and trust me, 21 marks is more than 90 percentile. If you can do better than that, great. So the whole logic in life is not to kind of say that I want to do everything, which is also not a bad idea, but then if you are not improving, then it is time to focus on certain specific areas, certain areas which you are good at, strength is good, and focus more on that to improve your mock scores. Now, how will that improve? It will reduce your negatives. Again, I'm not saying this is the only way, but focus on that. And the last one, of course, people, some of you at least, are going through this kind of a problem. Hey, you can't concentrate, your consistency is bad in preparation. Sometimes you might feel, hey, why am I even doing this? CAT is not for me, so let me give it up, kind of things. If you are doing this, or if you're feeling this, my friends, and if you're listening to this video, take my word again, you are not alone. There are, I would say, maybe 100,000 of them out of the 250,000 who probably will write the CAT exam, maybe even more than 100,000 of them who will probably be feeling exactly the same thing. Now, how do you change that? How do you not be in that group but be in that 30, 40, 50,000 group who can get that 80, 90, 95 percentile pluses? And for that, you will have to prod yourself up, saying that I will take one day at a time. I will take one mock at a time. I will look at one question at a time and improve in small quantities. If it is data interpretation, look at various kinds of sets which have data interpretation, or tables or bar charts or pie charts or whatever that may be. And even if it takes 30 minutes to solve one set, please solve it. What you need is small wins. If reading comprehension is bad, read the passage slowly. Try understanding it. Try to get the questions right. Outside the exam also. While doing the exam, of course you will. The whole idea is you need a win. Every time you get a small win, your confidence grows. Don't think about the D-Day, don't think about the rest of the world, don't think about your friends who are talking and boasting about great scores or high percentiles. You focus on only yourself. So keep that in mind is what I would say. So when I say how to improve mock scores, now there is obviously a simple debate that I can tell you, and that is what I was talking about. While the feelings are aside, the problems are aside, if one has to look at it, given the fact that you would have possibly prepared enough over the last few months, there is one debate that you need to sort it out. The attempts versus accuracy debate. A lot of people will tell you that accuracy is important. A lot of people will tell you go improve your attempts. But only increasing attempts without accuracy doesn't make sense. Only accuracy without enough attempts will not make sense. So here is what, before I leave this video and get into the next one, leave you with certain very, very important and key considerations. Look at these numbers. Let's say out of the 68 questions that you get in the CAT paper, you do exactly only 30 attempts. Whereas 2 hours, you are picking up 30 questions, very clearly which 30 you will probably look at it. In other words, what I'm saying is you have almost 4 minutes per question. I mean, I'm not saying that is exactly true, but can you get all 30 correct? If you can, you will get your 90 score, 30 into 3. However, this attempt only 30 and get all 30 is going to be very, very difficult. Which is the reason why I would say look at this idea. Look at what I have put it here. 50 attempts you do out of the 68, get only 35 correct. You will still get that 90 score. You will still get that same percentile as it would be 30 attempts and 30 corrects. Now here the difference between the first and the second is, in the first you may be a lot more cooler while solving the question, but even one mistake will make a huge difference. 2 mistakes you are out of the game almost, or 3 mistakes you are out of the game. Whereas in the second idea, where you are attempting more, there you can make almost 15 mistakes out of 50. That's like 30% mistakes you can make, 70% accuracy, and you will still get the same percentile. There is no right thing about these two things, friends. You are writing your mocks on a regular basis. Trust those scores. Whichever mocks you write. Careers 360 also is giving you mocks. Write those mocks. If your accuracy percentage is anywhere around the 90 plus percentage, 90% accuracy, then the idea of the first type, wherein attempt less and get higher score, makes sense. But if your overall accuracy levels are in the 65 to 75% range, which is not very high, then the only way to improve your scores is to attempt more. Keep this as a mantra, a gospel truth before you work towards it. Now, before I leave it, I said, what should you do post your mock? There is an analysis that you need to do and there is a drill. Here is what I'm going to say, 3 points. First point, after every mock, attempt all the unattempted questions, all the unattempted sets. For example, in data interpretation, there are 5 sets. You could do only 2 sets in the exam. 3 sets you did not do. Spend all the time that you can in those 3 sets. Similarly, in reading comprehension, 4 sets are there, you do 2 or 3 or whatever. Make sure that you attempt all the other questions. Similarly, in quantitative ability, the whole idea, and if you are not able to solve, no problems, go back and see the solution. The idea is, if there are 68 questions, 24, 22, 22, you should be in a position saying that next time you see these questions, you find them familiar. Second, one is the unattempted questions. The second one is mistakes. Even those questions that you have attempted, out of the 68, let's say you attempted 35 and you got some 10 wrong, no problems. Resolve these 10 questions. This is the second part of the drill. First, all unattempted questions. If you don't know, read the question, try to solve it. If you can't solve it, see the solution. Second, those questions which you got wrongs, where you made a mistake and you got a wrong and you got a minus mark for it, or if it's a theta, of course there is no negative, but resolve them. The fact that you have attempted that question in the mock or the exam, yet you got it wrong, means only 2 possibilities. A, you might have made a very silly mistake. B, you thought you knew the concept, but the concept that you knew and what was required was different. So try solving it. If it is a silly mistake, you will know that out of the, let's say 10 mistakes you made in the entire exam, you would get 8 out of 10 right again second time you're doing it, which means to say it's a concentration problem in the exam actually. That should kind of give you a lot more confidence, what we used to call the ARKS score. The ARKS score could be at least 20 marks more than what you're really getting. That should give you the confidence that, hey, I will fight it out again in the next one. And the last one, and this is very, very important, between one mock and the next mock, between one mock and the next mock, that means I am writing a mock, let's say today, 5 days later I am going to write the next mock. That means I have 4 days in between. Revise those areas where you are good at typically. For example, in arithmetic you are good at time and work, or time, speed and distance. Revise questions from these 2 areas. If you are good in, let's say, arrangement sets or games and tournament sets in DI, solve more games and tournament sets, more arrangement sets, or whatever that may be from that area. Why? What you are good at, if you become even better, your chance of getting mistakes reduces, your therefore chance of getting higher marks goes up significantly. To improve marks, it is very, very important for you to have consistency in your preparation, consistency in your writing your mocks, and analyzing, like I said, what you should be doing after every mock. Careers 360 has come out with 20 full mocks and 10 past CAT papers. I think this will kind of help you to crack that 99 plus percentile too. Make sure that you pick them up and give in your best.